deceive the king.
Hello creeps, and welcome to JJ's Horrors Fiction. Let's begin our story. I stood there, petrified. The first thing and most obvious was there was a buck, a male deer, dead with its throat ripped out and shoved antler first into the tree like a stake. It just hung there, hanging by its antlers, lifeless and mutilated, its eyes still open with its tongue hanging out of its mouth. Now for those of you unfamiliar with wildlife, let me just say something. The buck that I looked at was about 250 lbs, give or take. It was shoved into the tree about 8 feet in the air, which means in order for that to happen, whatever did that had to have near Superman strength, and had to be tall as hell to reach that height. I mean, think about it. 250 pounds, picked up in the air and shoved into the tree. Hard oak tree with its antlers, like it was nothing. The second thing I noticed upon further inspection, the scene was 6 or 7 boulders, not just rocks, boulders, 300 to 400 pounds. Boulders all freshly dug out of the ground and moved to this spot. I couldn't tell because there was fresh, moist dirt stuck to them, indicating that they had just been in the ground. Now, I was really scared knowing that this thing could lift well over 300 pounds. Well, with ease, absolutely. It had no problem with a flimless door with just one dead bolt, I mean. I remember this thing being muscular, but Jesus. As I walked a little more, I noticed a little speck of white fur. I went over and picked up, recognizing it as a deer. Then I found another piece, and another, and pretty soon I found myself following a trail of deer hair. And what was at the end was just as disturbing as the first scene. A baby deer, probably 100 pounds, had its ribs ripped out of its side and forcefully shoved into the skull, along with about a dozen other wounds that made it look like it went through a paper shredder. I ran out of that forest so goddamn fast I swear the rubber soles on my shoes were melted. I kept running out of the forest across my front lawn and into my truck, started it, and drove about the speed of a Formula 1 NASCAR racer would drive. I didn't know where I was headed. I just drove. I drove and just fucking drove until I reached San Antonio, a huge-ass city in Texas, over 1 million people. I kept driving until something caught my eye, a gun shop. The brief thought occurred to me that maybe I could fight this thing off with enough firepower. I already had the guns, I just needed some hot ammo, and I'll be set. And what do you fucking know? I slammed on my brakes with the shitter and went to the gun shop. When I got there, there was 2 guys, one working the register and the other just standing there. I assumed to assist customers if needed. I went over the guy standing around and asked if they have any big game ammo, he asked. Where are you looking to hunt? I said, and he took the hint. Then he asked me, what guns do I have? I told him a Benell 12 gauge and an AR, a handful of resolves, and a used Desert Eagle 50 cal. That I bought for fun a while back. I walked out of there that day with 200 rounds of .223 long, with some fresh mags from my AR, a box of 51-ounce slugs from my 12 gauge, and a box of 100.50 AE exploded penetrant rounds from my Desert. I also bought a wicked-looking cold steel knife with a Tanto point for a last resort scenario. Ready and fully loaded, ready to pump lead into this cocksucker. The thought popped into my head about the baby deer, shredded with razor-sharp claws, and other furious wounds all over it. I realized I need some other line of defense in case the guns failed, and the thing got to me: body armor. The only place I could think of that sold real body armor to civilians was those military surplus stores that my dad used to take me to. I took out my phone, opened a Google Maps, and before you know it, there I was in a military surplus store, 100 goddamn miles from my house, looking for body armor to help protect myself from a goddamn deer-killing giant. I walked into this store to see an old guy with a white beard. I asked, "Would you have any body armor?" Surprising him with my blandcy, he mentioned me to a room towards the back. The room had a bunch of different vests of different color. "What size are?" he asked me. "XL," I told him. He handed me this heavy black vest and told me to try it on. I told him I liked it, and he told me it was Kevlar and only stopped pistol rounds. I asked him if it stops knives or blade weapons, to which he replied, to an extent. That was good enough for me. I handed him my credit card and went on my way. I drove home, armed with enough items to raid a meth lab. When I got home, the sun was just setting, and I grabbed all my stuff and went inside. Took out all my guns and loaded them up with my new ammo. I put my vest on and sat in my room door, locked waiting